Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Her saying that she was at a party, I never knew about that. When my grandkids say, I believe what they say. Just like, yes, I did call CPS October 31st of 2023. If CPS would have listened to me then and pulled these kids out, Janiyah would still be here and my grandkids wouldn't have went through the hell that they went through with Jasmine and her girlfriend Kiara.
We are learning about the case of Janiyah McMichael, and this is her grandmother. While earlier today on my YouTube channel, I got some details incorrect when it came to her grandmother here. However, throughout this phase, we will be correcting all misinformation or things that we understood incorrectly. I still maintain that many of the people in and around Janiyah's life knew of the alleged abuse and stood idly by, not assisting until it was too late. Janiyah was 13 years old when she disappeared. However, the specific time that she disappeared is unclear. Her family expresses an abrupt end in communication as late back as June 2024, while her mom maintains that she disappeared on August 11th, 2024, and reported her missing on August 12th. Janiyah lives in Gary, Indiana, which is riddled with drug and gang activity. I have counted at least 4 SA allegations related to Janiyah McMichael, and she's only 13 years old when she disappeared. She has recently turned 14.
I called because my grandkids told me that how they were being abused by Jasmine and Kiara, how they had to wake up early in the morning and stand up like 5, 6 in the morning, stand up military style with their hands behind their back. They only had 7 minutes to eat. All they could eat was sandwiches. When I got them, they couldn't eat really. The food that I was introducing that were all normal to eat, they had diarrhea for months. She only allowed them to drink water. That was it, not even flavored water, because she is in an abusive relationship and they're very controlling. And I have a recording that I am going to share with you from a prior relationship that Kiara was in, that this girl ended up losing her child and they gave her 4 years prison time and she did 2 years and lost her child because Kiara and her mom, they were abusing this child. And she said, when I was explaining everything that was going on, she said it was like deja vu for her. She was crying and she was scared because she said that's the same thing they did to her. So, you know, everybody's seen this abuse since day one. You see my shirt. This is all what I'm about. Find my granddaughter. That's what I'm about. Do I believe Jasmine and Kiara did something to my granddaughter? Yes, I do.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here, giving you breaking daily updates related to the Sebastian Rogers case. This is going to blow your mind, guys. I've been personally covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, came out and told their stories in this interview about what transpired related to the disappearance of their 15-year-old son. Katie, Sebastian's mother, describes the day before he disappeared, Sunday, February 25th. They went to BJ's, he got a colossal popcorn, he was just a very happy, jovial young man, and they came home, put some snacks away, and then they went to a local bowling alley, and next to the bowling alley was a steakhouse where they ate. After they ate, they loaded up and went home. He took out the garbage, and the rest is history. He goes to bed at 9 p.m. Mom goes to bed at midnight. She awakes at 6 a.m. to wake Sebastian up as she normally does, and he's gone. Christopher Proudfoot states that he was not even in the area at the time that Sebastian left the home, that he was many miles away as he was working in Memphis and staying in his camper in Mississippi. A lot of people watching this case unfold became very, very skeptical of both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot's story about what happened leading up to Sebastian's disappearance. Many people noticed the deep abrasion scratches in some areas looking like bite marks on Christopher Proudfoot's arms some 8 days after Sebastian disappeared. Seth Rogers, which is Sebastian's biological father, decided to start doing some ground searches and raised money on a GoFundMe page to aid those efforts. Christopher Proudfoot threatened Sebastian's father in a lawsuit related to the GoFundMe page, and also the fact that Seth appeared to make the family, the other side of the family, look bad. Many people went out searching for Sebastian Rogers, and the one thing that was missing out of all the efforts volunteers put forth was Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. And when people asked them why they weren't out searching for their very son that went missing from their home, they told people that it was because law enforcement told them to stay home. However, that very evening, they were seen at a barbecue joint outside of the home enjoying a dinner. Meanwhile, never once searching for their very son that they say they care about and want to come home. Media was in an uproar, demanding answers from both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot. why they're not helping with any searches for their son. And what was their response? They got in their camper, packed it up, and took off. Sebastian's mom and stepfather took off to a campground in Mississippi where they returned home for a short while and then returned back to this campground. Right now, it appears that the camper is still at this mobile home park or RV park with Chris's truck, but we have confirmed Chris is not staying there and has installed a camera on the camper. There are so many people curious as to why there's a camera on this camper, but not on their home before Sebastian Rogers walked out that door. The sheriff was very cordial at the beginning of this search for Sebastian when he truly believed both Katie and Chris Proudfoot were deemed innocent and had no culpability in the disappearance of their son. If you look at the newest interview Nick Barris has with this very sheriff, you see a much different demeanor. Does this case anger me? You darn right. Does it make me want to almost lose my mind? You darn tootin'. Chris and Katie have a lot of explaining to do because what I just laid out for you is only a minor, small amount of the case against them.
Well, hello, my beautiful people of YouTube. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Amazing, amazing. Happy hump day to all. Happy hump day to all. And just want to quickly say good morning to all of those that are in the chat. We have a lot of people already. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I will start with Sonia. Good morning to Sonia and all of my mod squad. I see Pebbles in here, the real me too. It's nice to see you, Frank, Rod, Hope, Floats, Brenda, Cheryl. Good morning, football mom, Sarah. It is nice to see you all here. Rod, Chaos Bunny, Cinda. It's nice to see you as well. Deanna, Tina. Good morning, Jay Zolly. It's nice to see you, Cheryl. Who else do we have? Salty Ma'am is up in the house. VA, Melanie, a big shout out to Melanie. We're going to continue to have her in our thoughts and prayers. Please don't forget anybody that is struggling, that has doctor's appointments, going through surgeries, just has a chip on their shoulder for something. Let's pray for them today. Let's pray for them today. Cheryl, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? We have Alice. It's nice to see you. Alice, Lynn, Beauty, and more. It's nice to have you up in the chat. Who else do we have? We have Jenny. Perfect pun. It's nice to see you, Nicole. Good morning. Kendra is up in the house. Olive, it's nice to see you. Little Orange Man. Evelyn, it's nice to have you as well. Linda, good morning. Still Waters, been a while. Been a while since I said, you might have been here, but it's been a little while since I said hi to you. So good morning. It's nice to see you. DNA King, until there's an organized search in DeSoto County, Mississippi, Sebastian won't be found. Interesting. Diana, nice to see you. Good morning. Becky, it's nice to see you. Blue Eyes, hello, my love. My love. Oh, we got Smiley's World up in the house. Nice to see you, babe. I hope you're doing well. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Who else do we have up in the house? Faye, I see Faye up in the house. It's nice to see you, Debbie. I think I said hi to you, Rod, but if I didn't, Designs by 2E, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Kim T, it's nice to see you. Chaos, I see you up in the house. Eric with an H, it's nice to have you. I hope your wife is doing well. Is she seeing and hiding from the seeing from the bushes? Hey, hey. Who else do we have? We have Detective Whiskers. I spy. Jenny, it's nice to see you. Jersey, it's nice to see you. Panda Bear's mom, good morning. There she is. Beautiful April up in the house. It's nice to see you. Andrea, good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. I got this handy dandy mouse, so now I'm cooking. I can go down without having to fluff around and find out with the stuff. Michelle, it's nice to see you. Kimberly, it's nice to see you as well. It's me. Jen is up in the house. Sheila, good morning. Faye, Kina, it's nice to see you. Lakeith, it's nice to see you. Jamie, good morning. Sheila, hello. D's Mysteries, Obsessed, it's nice to see you. If I didn't say hi, did I say hi to you? It's me, Jen. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Hey. Christy, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Kendra, Don, Lady for Justice, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Chaos woke up on a spicy side of the bed this morning. He doesn't wear granny panties. He actually wears boy shorts, right? The women's boy shorts. It looked like it went right up the cheekies. The cheekies. I didn't find that. I just want to let you know. I did not find that. Somebody happened to point it out to me, and I started laughing. So I figured if I was going to be laughing, you were going to be laughing. Dark Princess, I think the kickoff today is from you. Am I right? No, it's Dark Side Crimes. So it's nice to see you, Dark Princess. I thought you were on X. I picked up something that was from somebody. Sabrina, it's nice to see you. That Earth for Time on your side. Who could be against her? Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Debbie W. gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Debbie W. thank you. And for the 5 new family members, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room, and trust me, you're going to enjoy that padded room because we beat our heads quite a bit over this case. That padding does help a little bit. Joanne, it's nice to see you. Nicole, it's nice to see you. Who else do I got? Groovy gals up in the house. Donna, it's nice to see you. Sheila, Nana Niner. I believe we have another Dawn up in the house. Nice to see you. Hobo's Life is here. Faulkner's dad, it's nice to see you. Joanne, Sheila, One Sock Candy. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. Pale Rider, Melanie gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Melanie thank you and God bless you. And whoever received that Bullhorn Betty membership, welcome to this crazy crew, this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room. Welcome aboard. Karen's up in the house. Sweet Peas Teas. Kendra's up in the house. It's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Who else? Snow Feather, we missed you. It's nice to see you, love. Truth and Time. Tina, it's nice to see you. Good morning, love. Bad girl, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Crystal Pistol up in the house. Mama Bear Curly, hello, my love. I hope you're doing well. And that is the end, so good morning. If I missed you, I am so very sorry. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So before we get too far into this, I'm going to read my intro, which is basically a compilation of what they want us to know about the case. Not necessarily what we know about the case, what they want us to know about the case. So we're going to be diving, and many of you guys know this case is perplexing, right? It is one of the most perplexing cases. Well, they want us to believe it's perplexing, right? We feel that we have a good idea at this point, over a year, 14 months plus and counting into this case, that this is just a whodunit, right? And so I'm reviewing this. I even went back and looked at Derek's channel. You know, that was the guy, the detective perspective, right? And so I went to his channel and I started reviewing all the cases that he's been covering and how, you know, he analyzes the case, you know, how he talks to his audience. And it seems like he has no problem providing an opinion, right? You know, giving his perspective, the detective perspective. Hey, Gloria, it's nice to see you, love. And so I find it, you know, pretty interesting that we have all these people, you know, and it seems like they're very vocal and opinionated on their channels, but when they get on mainstream media or on a, you know, they walk it differently, they talk it differently. And I found that a little interesting. It's not that this man, you know, we heard, you know, some things that were like, that's not necessarily accurate. When you go back, you know that Derek knows that because this is not, you know, he's covered this particular case previously. So this is one of the most perplexing missing person cases in recent history, although I don't think it's that, you know, mysterious to say the least. You know, these are statistical. We have statistics to help us define what happened. We have a lot of things that go outside of just the facts of this case. So we're going to be exploring, obviously, Sebastian's 16 years old. He's been gone since, personally for me, since February 25th, but I digress. So this is kind of the perspective that law enforcement, the mainstream media, by the way, this is courtesy of mainstream media in this dark side crimes, because Dark Side Crimes made this post. I'm going to show it on the big screen here in just a second so you guys get to read it, but I don't want you guys reading it until I get through my intro. Hopefully that makes sense. Sebastian Rogers was a bright teenager with a passion for gaming and a love of animals. Diagnosed with high-functioning autism, he was known for his routine and close-knit family life, rather. On the evening of February 25th, 2024, Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, tucked him into bed like a good little mommy did around 9 p.m. The next morning, she discovered he was missing. The front door was locked, his shoes were inside, but a flashlight was gone. An Amber Alert was issued and search efforts commenced immediately. Authorities utilized helicopters, drones, scent tracking dogs, and even played his favorite song, Eye of the Tiger, hoping to draw him out from wherever he ran off to. Despite these efforts, no trace of Sebastian was found. The search extended to a landfill in Kentucky, where garbage from Sumner County is disposed of, but yielded no results. The days turned into weeks, and the case shifted into a criminal investigation, i.e., an investigation. The lack of surveillance footage, scent trails, raised concerns of foul play. Sebastian's family remained vocal, with his father, Seth Rogers, urging the public to remain vigilant. Community vigils were held. The reward for information increased, with figures like Dog the Bounty Hunter contributing to the cause. As of now, Sebastian remains missing. Authorities continue to seek information, and the public is encouraged to report any leads. If you have any information regarding Sebastian's whereabouts, please call Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838 or TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Now, Mr. Proudfoot, the parent that keeps on giving in this case, was yet again on another interview, whatever. And it seems like the only pusher of this scent seems to be from Mr. Proudfoot. Not that there's any information, evidence, or factual information from reliable sources. Isn't that where Mr. Proudfoot told us to go get our reliable, to go get our information? Reach out to law enforcement. Only go to reliable sources, right? Only go to reliable sources, he proclaims. So I did just that. We're only going to be discussing mainstream media. Now, you guys know how I feel about mainstream media. It's a love-hate relationship. There are some mainstream media personalities I have high respect and high regard for, the Vinnie Politins, the Nancy Graces, of the Brian Intons of our mainstream media. Love them. Many of you guys know I know Brian Inton personally. I know a lot of people personally from the work that I've done, period. There's no need to name drop, but there's a lot of people I've come into contact with over my avocation for these cases. And so I decided, as I always tell my audience, we need to go back to the beginning, because what ends up happening in a lot of these cases is we're doing these cases. Many of us have been here from, the beginning or the beginning part of the case, within the first, 90 days of the case. Many of us were introduced to Sebastian Rogers, and that's kind of where we started from. But what happens is, as chaos ensues from these squads that are designed specifically to run interference, law enforcement interference, which they do a very good job of doing that. But when they get in here, they start giving a lot of misinformation and disinformation, or they start manipulating the true facts of the case. And over time, it's like the game of telephone, where what really actually happened and what they're standing on now are totally different facts, right? One's an opinion that they've turned into a fact, and one is specifically a fact. So it is very important to always go back to the beginning. And the one thing that I'm getting sick and tired of hearing is that they tracked Sebastian's scent. No, they did not. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Is there a scent of Sebastian? The answer is no, there is not. So we're going to go over the overview of Sebastian's disappearance, the importance of the case and its impact on the community. We're also going to be going over Sebastian's background. We already know his age, appearance, and his autism diagnosis. We already know the family dynamic and living situation. The timeline of his disappearance, many of us are very, very familiar with it and actually have our own timelines. We are going back to the beginning days of this case, okay? We're not going past, I think the latest article I have in my list of articles go back to March 26, 2024. And I may not even play that one. But all of my videos are from, just to put this in perspective, are from February 29th, 2024 to March 4th, 2024 in this presentation this morning. So as you understand, this is the search. This is the area of the search. This is all the information that was uncovered during those first days. We had very limited boots on the ground from social media at the time. So our reliance in these first few days is strictly on the local mainstream media in that area. Hey, Jules, it's nice to see you, love. So what are we looking at in this area? We're looking at what law enforcement was saying, because at this time they were more vocal with the public. Why? Because this was a missing person case. This was not, and I repeat, not a foul play scenario in these first days. So law enforcement was out there. Law enforcement, if anybody from law enforcement was on the grounds and somebody stuck a microphone in their face, they would be willing to talk to the reporter. That's the stuff we want to look at. So I was scrolling through X, as many of you guys know. I do, excuse me, I do rely on a lot of different forms of news gathering. And social media, by far, is one of the best places to find news, find perspectives, find people's conversations. And so This was done last night, and it said Chris Proudfoot tells us dogs picked up Sebastian's scent outside the home. LE and others tell us otherwise. Who is lying? And why does CP keep pushing this narrative? And you have to go back and think about it. You know, that is a great question. Why is there only one parent pushing this perspective? Lainey King, it's nice to see you as well. Good morning. So why would that have to be pushed? Now, I want you guys to, if you guys are coming in, please go hit the like button, because I got to take that off at this point. We're going to be putting up several different polls throughout this show. If you guys would like to stay here and poll, you're more than welcome to. So give me just a second. Let me set up the next poll. Okay, so we're going to say misunderstanding, to prove give me just some. I'm still trying to think of the third reason why he would. I'm trying to think of what else. Why would he be throwing us off? Misunderstanding. I want to make sure that that there can't be, that two things don't go together. Oh, got it. Okay. New poll. The new poll is, why is CP saying Sebastian Rogers' scent was found? 1, misunderstanding. 2, to prove, 2, to prove Sebastian left the home, or police are lying. So those are your options in the new poll. If you guys would take that, we're going to keep going over the outline of the show while I give you an opportunity to take that poll. So we're learning of his timeline, where many of us are very fluent with his timeline. The discovery of his absence on February 26th, the immediate response, an Amber Alert. The search efforts is really what we're focusing on for this live this morning. Ground aerial searches, the use of scent tracking dogs and drones, community involvement and volunteer efforts, search of a landfill, lack of surveillance footage and scent trails, shift from the search to the criminal investigation, involvement of the FBI, and increased reward offering. Yes, there was a reward, despite, hey, Tucray, despite what many people believe, you know, there for a while, another disinformation, intentional dis and misinformation in an effort to attack Seth. Many people were passing around that there was no reward. There was a $3,000 reward literally within days of this child disappearing. Days. I think by the 29th, there was $3,000 or $3,500. I think it was $3,000 that was raised by community business owners for a reward for his safe return. So that was, again, intentional misinformation. And if you go back and look who was spreading that misinformation, that there was no reward for Sebastian. And I kept saying, what are they talking about? There's a reward. There's a $3,000 reward. But you know what? By August 26th, FBI stepped up with a $50,000 reward, and At Night Media shortly thereafter, within a couple weeks, maybe a week or so after, stepped up with a matching contribution. In my opinion, CP has mentioned the dog scent to fit his narrative that Sebastian walked out of the house and take his eyes off him. That may very well be. And that is truly how I kind of feel. His eyes that's kind of how I feel as well, because it just seems, why is this one person pushing this one situation? I think that is about it for all I need to bring up for right now. So now we're going to go back in time and listen to what law enforcement has said. Is there scent? Is there scent out here? And when I get done, I've got 1, 2, 3 articles / videos to show you. And once we get through that, we'll look at the poll. We'll look at the poll. Now, this, I'm going to put it up on the big screen. You're not going to see my face because we're going to go over this. I'm going to read this to everybody. So if you can't see it on your screen, you're using your phone or even an Apple Watch, something even smaller, I'm going to read these articles to you. But first, I'm also going to play the video attached. Now, the problem I have with these videos is some of these videos at the top have been replaced with more current videos. So I'm not just going to show you the video. I'm also going to read you the article.
Breaking news alert.
Tonight, search crews are not giving up. We are closing in on 5 days since anyone has seen missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers.
Law enforcement in Sumner County underlying the urgency of the situation today. We've had days of cold, and Sebastian is without his medication. News 2's Sarah Smith is live tonight in Hendersonville, where local leaders are pleading for information. Sarah?
Bob, first responders here have been working around the clock trying to find Sebastian. We're also told he's been without his medication for days. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says they're not giving up on the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers.
If a searcher finds something, they mark it.
That right there. Now, this, again, was a video taken and prepared for news on February 29th, 2024. So this was within the 72 hours of him missing in all of the places that they searched. Quite extensive, just 3 days in. Just want to point that out to everybody.
We send a detective or detectives to that scene or to that area. And if they find evidence, we haven't found any evidence. And
we have not found any evidence. So on February 29th, they haven't found any surveillance from him. They haven't found any eyewitnesses that saw him, and they have not had any dog hit on his scent.
But if they find something that they think is substantial.
And I just want to let you know, the videos that I am showing you right now, these are all in date order. So this is the oldest. We're going to go to the newest, which ends on March 4th, okay, of 2024. This is February 29th, because I think it's important, because people keep going back to these older videos. They keep going back to these older videos where they talk about a scent being picked up, but they fail to grab the video that was after that, where the sheriff specifically said it's a false positive. And they always keep overlooking that very public statement from Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And so I think that that's important, and exactly why I put these in order.
CID investigates it.
Sebastian is autistic. Investigators think he walked away from his home off Stafford Court early Monday morning. The search including helicopters, canines, and boats. Sebastian's family not speaking to the media.
The family, remember that. These are those tender hours where a child, we all know the statistics. You know, everybody here on True Crime knows the statistics of stranger danger. We know the statistics when it comes to children being abducted. Now, mind you, by the 29th, there was an Amber Alert. We know that the Amber Alert requires a vehicle type of description, according to Tennessee law. So they said that they did this Amber Alert because he was an endangered child. Well, they have endangered child alerts, which he was on. So why was that endangered child alert upgraded to an Amber Alert? We have to ask ourselves that, okay? But either way, whatever your belief is, an Amber Alert was triggered. and parents aren't coming out and begging for this is my problem. They weren't begging. If they thought he just ran away, they weren't getting in front of the cameras and begging for him to come home and to come home safely and, all this stuff. Sebastian, we love you. We're sorry for however you felt, whatever made you leave, speaking to the camera saying, Sebastian, please come home. We want to talk about this. We want to work this out. None of that ever happened in these first days. And moreover, when the Amber Alert was issued, there was no public plea to the alleged abductor that allowed that Amber Alert to be issued. There was nothing, no plea to anybody to let their son go. Just drop him off. Just take him to a convenience store out east and just drop him off where you don't have to worry about anything. We just want our son home, right? So these are the first days. And as you're hearing here, even mainstream media, the local mainstream media in that area has, made it a point to consistently and constantly talk about how the parents refused media. And that's what they did. They refused media, much like they have refused any type of resource that has come to them. Jules is in the chat. She's reached out to them with her canine. We all know that these places have to be searched over and over again. Things are missed, And so all the resources to these people, the media at the height of a breaking case, and they refuse to utilize that media. Just like they have refused all real help. They've refused all real help. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, he was criticizing Dog the Bounty Hunter, calling him a has-been. Well, that Dog the Bounty Hunter put this case literally squarely on national media. It got more coverage on court TV as a direct result of Dog the Bounty Hunter. So why would somebody be knocking that? Why would somebody be criticizing that? Again, wouldn't even all the way back here on February 29th, 2024, 3 days after this child disappeared, 3 days, they are refusing help. And guess what? They have progressively refused every single help or path forward other than working with a bunch of criminals and felons. That is the most help that they've been able to muster up in over 14 months. Listen to this. This is all the way back. There's no misunderstanding this. Thank you, mainstream media. Mainstream media is the one being credited for this show this morning.
Canines and boats. Sebastian's family not speaking to the media.
The family's been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help.
Rain and cold temperatures still.
They're operating under the assumption, and he used that word for a reason. Okay? He used that word for a reason. Look at these two guys sitting next to them. Do they look like happy people? Do these three men look like happy people that truly believe this is still a missing child? Look at those faces. Really, they didn't speak to media. The very first act Chris had when he got home was to tell the local media not to record his house. Not to record his house.
And that there's a child missing that needs our help.
Rain and cold temperatures still complicating the situation. Officers asking you to keep checking your home security cameras for any sign of Sebastian.
We have had several clips that have come in. Several of them we've been able to dispel that's not Sebastian on that clip. We are still working every lead that comes in.
Deputies also wanting you to go in groups to check your property, because if you get hurt, they say it will cut back on resources to find Sebastian.
Okay, so now we know that this is something a little different, right? This is something a little different. So let's keep reading. As you guys can see, this is from February 29th, 2024. Actually, let's go back here. Hold on, let me go back. I might have kicked my volume, but I really don't care. Let's read this. So this again, February 29th, Sumner County agencies across Middle Tennessee have been working tirelessly to locate missing Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. The search resumed Thursday around 7 a.m. The first 2 days, crews searched 2,000 miles on foot across Hendersonville. Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener and Sebastian's home has been searched at least 10 times, and officials are continuing to expand the search area. We're operating under the assumption Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family has been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation. We truly are operating under the assumption that there's a child that needs our help. The search has primarily been limited to law enforcement agencies, but during Thursday's press conference, Craddock said they are encouraging community members to search their own property with a partner at least 2 times a day to check their trail and to check the trail cameras. We need you to search your property every day, morning and night. There sheds, crawl spaces under mobile homes, tarps. Check every morning and every night. Residents are asked to search in pairs. And where does it say? And of course, they're asking residents to check any creeks, streams, and bodies of water. We know that that Sebastian can swim very well. And so that to us is a fruitless activity. But, you know, at the end of the day, the bottom line is even their house being searched 10 times, according to this very specific article, 10 times, they were still unable to pick up the scent of Sebastian. So we have to remember the details of the case. Tennessee Amber Alert, no confirmed sightings, leads as community prays for missing boy. As the search efforts for 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers nears 5 days, there was still very little information to go on. Prayers was top of mind in Sumner County after multiple vigils were held for the missing teenager who continues to be the center of a statewide Amber Alert. In an afternoon press conference, Sumner County Sheriff Chief Deputy Eric Craddock encourages residents to search their properties morning and again at night, focusing on sheds, crawl spaces, tarps, in hopes of finding the teens. They have no confirmed sightings of the boy as hundreds of people continue to search the area, Craddock says. There has been no investigative leads to take us anywhere. We are still operating under the assumption that he walked off from his home. Local officials asked Tennessee Bureau of Investigations to issue an Amber Alert for Sebastian Tuesday after the boy went missing Monday from his Hendersonville home. Sumner County Emergency Management Agency Director Ken Widener said several hundred first responders covered 2,000 miles on foot after the first 2 days. Authorities are using drones, helicopters, planes, and canine units to locate Sebastian. As of Thursday, they have not found any evidence to track and locate the teen. Family members have thus far declined to speak publicly about the boy's disappearance. Understandably, there is interest in hearing from family and friends to help provide personal context. However, we have been requested by the family to let media know they are not in the position to speak to or be available to media at this time. However, we have been requested by the family. So law enforcement never told them not to speak. They asked law enforcement to make a statement, so it sounded official, and law enforcement did not buy into it. So again, no scent from this child. This particular, this new one, let me make sure I still got my ideal, was done on right here, February 28th. February 28th, but this video was most likely updated March 1st, 2024. So that's why I've got it in a different order.
Wrenching. You don't want anything to happen to anybody, let alone a child.
The heartache is deep in Sumner County as a classroom chair has sat empty all week long, one that belongs to Sebastian Rogers.
Now, this is the one of the teachers. It's not shown very much. We've shown it on this show several times. But you know what? I had a different perspective of this one. I had a different perspective of this one now. And I want to show you because there was one sentence that I overlooked in this segment. One sentence, which was very powerful. And I think it clarifies another issue we have in this case. So pay close attention. I will stop it once it gets there.
A missing 15-year-old with autism. He hasn't been seen in 5 days.
A dive team has now been called in to help with this investigation. News Channel 5's Aaron Cantrell has been following this search all week. Aaron, tell us what's going on out there today.
Well, Emily and Carrie, there's still an active scene out here, but we do know that the Franklin Police Department, they got a call from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office yesterday asking if they could send out a dive team. So by this time, now they're talking about dive teams within the first 3 days. We heard yesterday, one of my comments or one of my shows yesterday was about whether or not the family was told that Sebastian was most likely not alive. So this kind of supports that it's possible they may have told the family that because they're searching now in the rivers and streams. And there was a small police presence outside of the Rogers family home today. There were members of that dive team. Also, there was a raft and an ATV, and officers were just looking at the area, just hoping to look for anything that could lead to Sebastian. But community members, they are just hoping and praying that he comes home safely. It's a busy day inside Worsham's General Store.
Kids are buzzing in and out of here. It's going to be 4:37.
Some people call it the foundation of the Chapel Island community.
Teachers are grabbing breakfast and lunch.
Okay. Teachers, students, and teachers are going in that store in the morning. This is the part that I personally overlooked when I ran that story. Remember how we said there was multiple people that had stated they saw Kathy Bowersox up at that Worsham's General Store between 5:30 and 5:45 in the morning? People know everybody in that community, and she was a well-known realtor in that community. Now you have students as well as their parents, as well as teachers going in and out of that store. Now, I'm not sure what time the general store opens. Let's find out. Worsham's General Store open. Let's see what time that store is open. 6:30 a.m. So people wouldn't have been hustling and bustling into the store, but would people that are going by the store recognize a key member of their community? And I think that's a legitimate and important question to ask.
But this community hasn't felt stable since Monday, after 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing from his home on Stratford Court.
My entire school is in a constant state of prayer for him.
Patricia Shemansky is Sebastian's former 8th grade teacher at T.W. Hunter Middle School.
He has a great sense of humor. He loves people. He loves.
Now remember, this was right at the end of when he first moved into that home.
Animals.
She says Sebastian may have autism, but he's extremely high functioning.
He has a great sense of humor, loves to laugh. He's a jokester. He's extremely smart.
Feeling helpless as they wait around for answers, her school decided to honor Sebastian by wearing his favorite color.
You have to pick a pencil, you pick the green one, you know, you pick a folder, you pick a green one. So he always picked green, so we knew it was his favorite.
So a little more about him. At this time, this was the only people that came out to speak about Sebastian Rogers was his teachers. These were the teachers and some of the people that went to school with Sebastian were the first interviews about Sebastian. It wasn't until and everybody was talking very, with high regard for Sebastian. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, black tennis shoes, and shoes. Now we're hearing that whatever pair of pants was found out in the woods that Terry Lynn had found, we're hearing rumors now by Chris himself that those were, in fact, Sebastian's pants. They just weren't ones that he wore recently. But they were the same design pants that we heard he was last seen in. And I now that I hear that they were in fact his, it makes me wonder why in the world were they staged out in the woods and not be the pants that he disappeared in. Now we're going to go over and listen to WSMV. This is proving that he was not on any cameras in the area at the time of his disappearance. This is the receipts for that. Just saying, since we have to say it like that, because everybody's so confused about whether or not Sebastian had scent dogs or was seen on camera or was seen by a third party. The answer is no, he was not. This one right here, the deputy is confirming no security footage captured Sebastian after his disappearance, raising concerns. The search remained active, but lacking a digital evidence complicates efforts. Authorities reviewed surveillance footage from the area but found no sightings. The scent dogs detected Sebastian's scent near the front door toward the construction site, but no further trace was found. So this is the article that everybody wants to run to and say, see, Sebastian had a scent. The dogs picked up Sebastian's scent. This is where it's derived from, right here, this news article right here. But we're going to keep going in order because you guys need to hear the next one.
Public to check their property for any sign of Sebastian.
Yeah, Michael Warwick is live in Hendersonville, where investigators remain hopeful to find that 15-year-old.
That's right. And to this point, there has been no trace of Sebastian since investigators say he walked away from his Hendersonville home sometime late Sunday night or early Monday morning. Not only have dogs been unable to pick up a scent on the 15-year-old, but investigators also say,
this must be one that was updated. Hold on.
Sighting of Sebastian.
This must have been one that was updated. So let me read the article because this one was updated on March 1st right here. You see that? So that was after the fact. I wanted you guys to read the article the day before, which was February 29th, and they've already updated the misinformation that they put out. And it said there has not been a confirmed sighting of the missing teen with autism on camera since his disappearance at midnight Sunday. Disappearance at midnight on Sunday. So they're saying he disappeared at midnight on Sunday, which happened just so happened to coincide with the Katie was asleep by midnight, which I just find ironic because that was the information being passed around at this time. The county and statewide search for Sebastian Rogers continues. During the press conference, Thursday afternoon, Deputy Eric Craddock and Emergency Management Director Ken Widener said 4 days of search had spanned 2,000 miles and has yet to provide any confirmation that the boy is alive. Search and rescue dogs haven't been able to pick up a scent, Widener says. So this is they've changed this. So I thought this was the one. Hold on, is it this one? No, it is this one. They've changed their story since then. Because as you can see, unless I has not seen on camera, I'm not sure. This one says something about it. Let me keep going because I've got all these in order. Midnight Sunday during a press conference, they said that there has been there's nothing that they can provide that shows or confirms that Sebastian is alive. So here is that statement right there. It says, has yet to provide any confirmation that the boy is alive. Search and rescue dogs have not been able to pick up his scent. So here it is. By March 1st, we knew that there was no scent. They have not been able to pick up the scent, Widener says. Amber Alert was issued on behalf of Rogers, and state and local authorities continue to search on him. There is no confirmed sighting of Sebastian on cameras. This must be the original article. Rogers had been missing since February 26th. He's 5'5", 120 pounds with brown hair, brown eyes, last seen in Hendersonville, Tennessee, wearing black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. The search for the missing teen has been vast. The law enforcement agencies from across Tennessee and Sumner County working day and night to bring him home. The Tennessee Highway Patrol, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Gallatin Police Department, and Hendersonville Police Department, and other agencies have crews and searching and hoping to find the boys. Authorities have searched by air, horse, foot, and in the water. Crews are being tracked by cell phone towers. Their paths are marked, and once they're finished searching, they're assigned a new search area, Widener said. After dissuading the public from helping in the search since its beginning, officials reversed course on Thursday, encouraging public to search for Sebastian in pairs if they wish. Authorities want the public to search their properties and surrounding areas. We really want to come to the public and ask for help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed, crawl space, and we've heard this all before, their hopes are that the 15-year-old boy will be found alive. Widener says that Rogers strong and might keep him alive despite wet, cold weathers the past few days. One thing I've learned about autism is the stamina pain threshold, Widener said. The drive in these men and women, young boys and girls, is greater than ours. So I don't know where I picked that up. I got some notes here saying that there was, unless I had grabbed the wrong one, that he has not been seen on camera, and confirmed that there was a scent. But as you guys can see, now I'm going to play the video. As you guys can see, there is no scent found as of March 1st.
They told me there has not been a confirmed sighting of.
Investigators remain hopeful to find that 15-year-old.
That's right. And to this point, there has been no trace of Sebastian since investigators say he walked away from his Hendersonville home sometime late Sunday night or early Monday morning. Not only have dogs been unable to pick up a scent on the 15-year-old, but investigators also say, when we asked them specifically, has there been some sort of sighting of Sebastian? They told me there has not been a confirmed sighting of Sebastian on camera.
So I think it's important to recognize that the misinformation here, and it's not really misinformation, it was statements made by law enforcement that they picked up a scent, and that scent took them to the construction site. But what we've learned is that was a false positive. That was not Sebastian's scent. It was someone's scent. We're not disputing that there was a scent picked up. We've just learned from law enforcement it wasn't Sebastian's scent. It was someone's scent. I absolutely believe that it was someone's scent, and I think they may have even taken more dogs back there and took scent dogs back there to find out whose scent. I do believe law enforcement knows whose scent that is and why they're so adamant that it is not Sebastian's scent, because I believe they tested it. I believe they took articles of clothing from Katie, Chris, as well as Sebastian. And I believe that's why the dogs kept leading back there. Different dogs kept leading back there. I think that they were determining whose scent that was. But we do know that there was scent and there was confusion. And many people thought, okay, this proves that Sebastian did leave his home. But law enforcement came out within 24 hours of that. Somebody was at the pond. Yeah, exactly, Caroline. And I believe that they came back around after they realized that there's a lot of, misinformation going around that it was Sebastian's and it was raising stuff. And they're like, wait a minute, this was a false positive. Now, again, I go back to all of this stuff, even back to the lights video. And so far, we have not had a confirmed mistruth or a flat out lie from Sumner County or a sheriff. Okay, there's been misinformation provided to the public, but it wasn't provided to the public directly from law enforcement. Okay, they may have used some news organizations to peddle something. They may have used the parents to peddle a perspective or a directive or something like that. But they themselves, as law enforcement, have not at least where I could see. Yeah, we can assume that they've misrepresented something or they've lied about this. But the only example that I truly do have to show you guys that they didn't lie to us, and I know you guys are saying, wait a minute. I'm gonna say they did lie to the public privately. Okay, Miss Bobby called there. They tried to tell her that it was a trash truck, right? So the law enforcement did try to deceive the public by proxy, okay? They tried to feed information to other people for other people to spread the misinformation, but they themselves did not publicly come out and tell us the misinformation. For example, the trash truck. Nick Barris had Eric Craddock, I believe it was April 2nd, 2024, in a meeting. And this was right before their press conference, their last and only press conference that they had given to the public about this case. If I'm going off memory, so don't hold me to the water, but I believe it was April 2nd, 2024. And Nick Barris had an opportunity to sit Eric Craddock down and have an interview. And he specifically asked him about the lights. And Eric Craddock refused to answer about the lights. So it wasn't Eric Craddock that was misinforming the public. Now, was there police trying to use the public to misinform the public? I absolutely believe that they were. But publicly, they've never, on the record, themselves lied or misinformed the public so far that I've been able to see. And why am I stressing that? Because many people could be like me and say, well, you know what? They could be deceiving the public here in saying this. But if we look at their MO, they don't deceive the public. They have third parties deceive the public. So I have to think that when they speak, they're telling the public what they're allowed to truthfully tell the public. And that's important because they said there was a hit at the retaining pond and a construction dumpster, so much so that they had to drain the retaining pond to make sure nothing was there. Remember all of that? So that is a true event that did happen. However, after bringing some other dogs in, running a few other tests, they realized very quickly that was not Sebastian's scent. Okay, so we're going to be circling back, if I can speak this morning, circling back to the scent and why is that being pushed so hard by Chris and Katie. I really don't know, but we can opine, right? We can theorize, and I'm going to conclude, right? It's my conclusive, my opinion conclusion, okay, as to why I think this is happening. So let's get on with another. I think this might be. I think I got just a couple more to go through. I had a lot more than I thought I did. Okay, so now here we go.
5 of the search for a missing autistic 15-year-old boy from Sumner County. Good evening and welcome to News 2 Now at 10. I'm Haley Wilkes. Sebastian Rogers was last seen early Monday morning at his home in Hendersonville, and there's been no sign of him since. News 2's Sarah Smith is joining us live tonight from Sumner County with more on that search. Sarah.
Haley, it's cold and wet out here, but first responders say they're not giving up in finding Sebastian, and neither are his friends. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers still missing after 5 days. The community desperate for answers. Rebecca Goodard's son is in Sebastian's class.
So these, again, were the only interviews. I just showed you one of the teachers, and I told you it was somebody that went to a school. This is the one from the people that went to a school. But these were the only interviews about Sebastian that came out in these tender days of his disappearance.
At Beach High School.
Being a mom of children with special needs and autism and the cognitive impairment and things, it's like I'm living my worst nightmare. I'm watching it unfold.
Investigators looking for Sebastian around the clock using canines, drones, and helicopters. Rebecca and other neighbors searching too.
I took Monday off work and I looked in every outbuilding, every creepy barn and chicken coop that I've ever seen from a road in this area.
Sebastian's parents not talking to the media. Deputies say, though, that they are cooperating. Rebecca says she's only met them at school a few times.
I do drop my kids off at their classroom, and so I see him and say hello to him, and he's a very sweet, kind, seems to be a happy boy.
Crews say they've collectively searched thousands of miles for Sebastian. People here not wanting to rest until he's home safe.
I think no matter what happens in Sumner County with this, Sumner County needs a lot of prayer and comfort right now, because it's been a big week.
Right now.
So there's that. And then we're going to go over, oops, let me move this one back. We're going to go over to this one. Oops. Can you guys hear that? You guys can't hear that? Hold on a second.
National area business owners are pledging at least a $3,000 reward that will help investigators find Sebastian. News 2's Nikki McGee shares their continued search efforts.
Well, the sun has now set on the 6th day of search efforts, and emergency crews are growing more and more anxious to find answers. They tell me today they hope to have some sort of new information with people being off on the weekends, able to more thoroughly search their properties. However, we did learn 2 new developments in this case today. One, there is now a $3,000 reward in place for information on this case. The other being the Sumner County Sheriff's Office giving us a more specific window of time when they want neighbors to review their footage.
We expect to find people, so we don't expect to not be able to find that child or that parent and Sebastian in this case.
The search continues for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Saturday, roughly 300 people out looking for him from sunrise to sunset.
We would really hope that today, since everybody or a lot of people will be at home during the daytime hours where they hadn't been all week, that they would have an opportunity to search their property, search their farms. There's a lot of farmland around here.
Emergency officials ask everyone around the area to especially check creeks and streams that Sebastian may have been drawn to. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office also honing in on possibilities, asking residents to check surveillance and trail cameras, focusing on the afternoon of Sunday, February 25th through Monday morning, the 26th.
That was a critical point in the change in this case. On day 6, they tipped their hat to let people know things were not as they seemed. The only time we ever start seeing law enforcement widen their video is because something is not right. Things aren't as they seem. They wanted 12 to 6 a.m., and now they want to go all the way back to Saturday to Monday. That was critical in this case. Now, again, it's because
They didn't have any surveillance cameras. They had no third-party eyewitnesses, and they had no scent that was being tracked by Sebastian. Why am I beating this in your head? Because I'm sick and tired of people going back to the one video that says that they tracked a scent from the house to the construction site, and it was Sebastian's. Because every single, look at this, we're on video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that was 6. We're about to go to 7 and an 8 video correcting that misinformation. They originally believed it was Sebastian's scent. Within 24 hours, they learned very quickly it was a false positive, and I don't believe it was a false positive. I believe it just was not his scent, but it was somebody's. And so that is why we are so adamant about this. And I believe this is the last one. We got 2 more.
A significant shift in the case of Sebastian Rogers, the missing autistic 15-year-old. It's a case we have followed closely since he disappeared.
We care what happens next, just like you. And now 1 week after Sebastian vanished from his Sumner County home, authorities are scaling back the search effort, and they are now calling it an investigation.
Nick Barris shares the latest details, and we also hear for the first time publicly today from the missing teen's mother and stepfather.
The original thinking was that Sebastian Rogers left home on his own, but the fact that he disappeared without a trace now has authorities looking into the very real possibility of foul play. Consider 7 days of intense searching from the ground and air. Hundreds of officers and citizens, bloodhounds, and nothing. No security video of the teen and no trace of Sebastian.
We're used to producing, and this is one of those cases that we haven't been able to produce yet.
No one is giving up. Sebastian could still be alive somewhere, alone, hurt, lost, or trapped. The search effort will continue, but
we're scaling it back a little bit.
What exactly does that mean? Well, sources close to the case confirm authorities are now considering foul play and that this missing teen case could become a criminal investigation. Sebastian's mother and stepfather broke their silence, talking about how he disappeared from their home overnight a week ago Sunday. The two spoke on a YouTube podcast called Missing Tennessee with Duchess.
And when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
Between the hours of, 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Authorities have named no suspects and say that to date, the parents have fully cooperated with the investigation. Detectives now will re-interview and vet everyone that had contact with Sebastian, looking for any inconsistencies. And
Any inconsistencies. These inconsistencies matter, despite what the hate channels tell you. These inconsistent statements matter.
And they are asking the public to provide any Ring camera videos, not just from Sunday night when they believe he disappeared, but of anything suspicious of much earlier in the day.
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And this one comes, the Amber Alert search as it enters its second week. And this is kind of more in line with the press conference that we heard at that time. And this is going to, I think this is a round us up. Yes, this is going to round us up.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Eric Craddock from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and I'm the Chief Deputy here, joined by Ken Weiner, the Director of Sumner County EMA. Wanted to come to the public and give you guys an update on the search for Sebastian Rogers. Last Monday morning at about 6:30, Sebastian was reported missing from his home. Since then, we've conducted an extensive and exhaustive search around the home, looking for any evidence, any trace of Sebastian. At this time, the decision's been made to scale back on the ground search operations. Let me be clear that this does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian. This is simply us transitioning from the ground search to the investigative side. We are still committed to finding Sebastian and bringing him home safe. We have no leads, no details to indicate that Sebastian is not alive. We are going to follow up on every lead. We have a planned response if anyone has a sighting of Sebastian. Our patrol deputies will be out. Our investigators will be out. We are still coordinating with law enforcement across the state. We are still consulting with experts. This decision does not come lightly. We have consulted with, and I've deferred to the experts in search and rescue. Every time we've asked, they've said you've done everything you can do. At this time, Director Weiner.
Yeah. So we'll continue to have a command post at the fire station there. We won't man it 24/7, but we will have K9 units in the area. We'll have teams ready to go. The sheriff's office will have deputies on patrol, and if we get any report, we'll respond to that location. We'll send K9 to that location and search teams should we get any information. So we will continue, and any tips we get, we will reactivate to the level we need to respond with.
I'd like to take a moment and thank all the first responders from across the state of Tennessee that have come out and help us in the search for Sebastian. They've come from as far as Knox County. We've called in the state National Guard to help. The Army National Guard was here to help. If there was a resource we thought we could utilize to help locate Sebastian, we've used it. And we will continue to do so based on the leads that come in. The Sheriff's Office continues to urge families to check your properties, to check your cameras. No detail is too small. If you have a detail that you think is important, please call 615-451-3838. Thank you.
So there you guys have it. We do have some other articles coming out after that, but those are the first few days, okay? That was from the time this child disappeared. Okay. Well, AARP. Okay, we got a free commercial for AARP. At any rate, you know, this takes us through the first week of this case. Okay, yes, there was a scent picked up. I think these 8 videos show you the will of law enforcement, and that is because we're always told, right? We're always told over and over again, go to reliable sources, right? You hear it from the Proudfoots all the time. Go to reliable sources. Every single article, every single, you know, we've just watched the Chronicles of Olivia, which interviewed them, and they were adamant about going to law enforcement. I don't think anybody is more suited to answer these questions other than Eric Craddock or Ken Widener, right? And so we just heard from Eric Craddock, multiple statements from Eric Craddock, multiple statements from Ken Widener expressing that, yes, there was a scent that required them to drain a retaining pond. However, that scent was not Sebastian's, or it was a false positive. That is what the sheriff said, false positive. He did not say that it was Sebastian's scent or it was somebody else's scent. I am saying that I believe that scent was so strong with the behavior of the dog that it was definitely somebody's scent. But with the statements, public statements, on the record statements from law enforcement tells us that this was not Sebastian's scent. And that is very, very important because the stepfather is wanting us to believe that this scent is Sebastian's. And it comes down to the question that we're polling for right now. And that question is, if you're just coming in and have not had an opportunity to take the poll, it's literally going to be open for like 10 more seconds. 20 seconds, because I'm going to give you guys time to hear me say that there's 10 more seconds. And then we're going to close the poll out. So if you would like to participate in that poll, please go over there and provide your polling number. I am closing the poll out right now. All right, we're getting the poll. The poll says, why is CP saying SR scent was found? The one question was misunderstanding. To prove Sebastian left the home, police are lying. So 79% say to prove Sebastian left the home. 10% believes it was just a misunderstanding, and 9% believe law enforcement is lying. So I believe the masses in this case, I truly believe the reason why they are focusing on this, and let me just show you. Hold on, let me pull it up. I didn't have this pulled up, so give me a second to find it. And I think it has to do with this particular statement. Content, videos. There it is. Give me just a second to find it in this video. It probably won't let me add this video without it losing audio, so I may have to reload it. Hold on a second. Let me find what I need to find. Control F, prove. There it is. All right, so let me see if I can put this up on the screen without losing my audio. I might be able to. I might not. Let me see if it kicked my audio. It did not kick my audio. It did not kick my audio. Okay. And this is why I believe right here is the reason why they are needing this to be Sebastian's scent. And it comes from their very first mainstream media interview. And it's right here.
At night. I mean, it gets dark around here at night in general, but so far we haven't found him on any camera footage to prove where he's at.
To prove where he is at. That is why they need this scent dog. Even though Seth doesn't know about this scent, even though law enforcement has said this is not his, even though law enforcement has said this is a false positive, even though law enforcement hasn't told us what made that dog track that way, we have heard over and over and over again that there is no sighting of him by a third party. He is not on any type of surveillance camera, even though that entire community all the way up to the school is littered with camera footage, littered, and nothing. And then on top of that, no scent from his house to anywhere related to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So again, you're going to have to make a decision for yourself. Why is somebody pushing so hard to make us and convince us that this was Sebastian when law enforcement has repeatedly told us over and over again for over a year it isn't? Thank you all for joining me. Again, this is the Bullhorn Betty channel. I hope you guys learned a little something. When I start hearing rumors and misinformation and intentional disinformation being released to the public, it's my call to action that we need to go back to the facts of the case and make sure that our audience is very aware of the true facts of the case so they are not manipulated with misinformation and intentional disinformation perpetrated upon them. So this is where we, the Bullhorn Betty channel, does derive our information. Do we theorize? Do we reasonably deduct? Do we use our common sense in these cases when we discuss them? Yes, we do. But our foundation has been and will always be the factual information. Chaos, I want to thank you for the smile on my face this morning, first thing. I also want to thank Debbie, Melanie, and I didn't get a chance to call you out, Nocturna. Thank you for gifting Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership from either Debbie, Melanie, or Nocturna, please don't forget to tell them thank you. And for the 7 beautiful people that came to our family, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjackets and your padded room. You're going to need them. It's a bumpy ride over here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I want to thank Chaos and Jen in Georgia for your contribution this morning. Thank you for being valued members, and all of you being valued subscribers to the Bullhorn Betty channel. One of the reasons why I do this is because I want people to know the truth, right? We don't want people being deceived. We have a right as the public to know information. That's why we have so many protections for the freedom of press, so much so that Donald Trump, if you haven't noticed, whether you love him or hate him, has really been standing on his pedestal, letting the public know that social media, we are the new era of the news, new era of information. And so they've even opened up a spot for social media to now be part of the press crew that they have. So I think he's making a very strong point that we here on social media are the news. We absolutely will continue to bring the truth, and we'll continue to dive into these cases and discuss them as we see fit, not as our government sees fit, not as another state that we don't even live in sees fit, as we, the public, as me, the commentator, and the person providing my information. I'm absolutely going to provide you my opinion. I'm absolutely going to provide you my commentary, and I'm not going to be swayed by my government or the persecution of arrest for speaking. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We've brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.